The following show features stupid opinions and ideas from two idiot brothers who probably did little research and practiced zero due diligence on the topic at hand. The MLO Bros' opinions do not reflect the views of their employer, guests, sponsors, families, neighbors, or pets. If you do not like what they are saying, and don't...
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to the MLO Bros. Thanks for joining us. We have returning face, big guy over here, Wade, taking the place of Luke. Luke, if you're watching, he's doing a good job sitting on our side over here.
I'll do my best to pull your shoes.
And then we have some new faces. Let's introduce you guys. So let's start over here. What's your name, Miss?
Hi, my name is Jessica Russell. I work for the city of Canfield, and I'm an administrative clerk, and I schedule all the events on the green for the city of Canfield.
Perfect. And you, sir?
And I am Josh Wells. I work for the police department, and I am like the liaison between the police department and the city with our events.
Perfect. And you can reintroduce yourself, sir.
Wade Calhoun, city manager for the city of Canfield.
Look, Luke's even helping you. He says, Wade. Luke, I think he's doing pretty good over here, man. He wanted to sit over here on this side. Yeah. But
I feel like I should yell and scream about something.
Yeah, you probably could if you want to feel good. Yell about something random. I don't know. But what are we talking about tonight, guys? What's going on in Canfield?
Well, so I think we came on to talk about our events that we have. I can kind of talk about how it started, and then I'll let Jess and Josh talk about the different events that we do and highlight that.
Yeah.
But of course, COVID threw a wrench into stuff we started doing on the Village Green 3 years ago, I think 2019. So when I first came into Canfield, council's objective was to be more, utilize the Village Green for more stuff. We have our traditional Monday night concerts, big band orchestra type stuff, but they wanted more activity on the green, sort of revitalize it. So I said, okay, let's, figure out what we can do. Started talking to just staff, Canfield residents, citizens, kind of like, hey, what do we want to see on the green? So there was a general consensus of just stuff to do.
Yeah.
So we started planning. I think we started with like a movie night and maybe I think we started with safety
Day and movie night,
Yeah.
I think, was kind of how we kind of got you started.
Yeah, so obviously, Canfield Police Department, fire, sheriff, you bring together the safety forces, you get all the kids and families out there to do all the cool stuff, put out a pretend fire, meet the canines, get in cruisers, play with the lights and sirens. And it was a huge hit. So we just kind of built upon that and started doing other things to, include food trucks, other bands, some beer, a fall festival with pumpkin carving.
So is this going to be the first year you have that, or no?
This is our third year because COVID, I don't think we did anything in 2020. So we started 2019, 21. Yeah, this will be our third year of doing events.
And you're probably going to be the first year hit it really hard.
Yeah, so this year, COVID year, we were really excited to do, so July 7th was on a Saturday. And we were going to do like a casino night on the Village Green.
That's sweet. You
like
can do that?
7. Well, we figured out how to do it. 7-Eleven, that's right.
Yeah, we were going to play with like play money, and
Oh,
you
okay.
could play
You
cards
couldn't
and
actually play
stuff.
craps or something? Or like
Well,
blackjack?
not for real
Not for real money.
Like,
Oh.
we
But
couldn't
then
do
you
the
could take your money that you won, the play
You could like
money,
buy prizes.
and then
like
we were
bid
going to
on
auction
prizes.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to auction
Like
off.
adult Dave and Buster's.
Right. So it started the planning phase, probably February, March of 2020, and then COVID hit. But that was one thing that it's like, man, that would be so cool that, a lot of our events are family friendly, catered towards kids. So we were thinking, how do we get that adult population? Like give them the adult night out.
Yeah.
And so the casino night hopefully is something we can eventually still build up to. And, with the availability and council and really the community is supported, we do F1 permits.
Yeah.
No different than like a church that does a fundraiser where you can get alcohol. So we do that on the Village Green with an F1 permit temporarily 1 or 2 days, get the state approval to have alcohol on the Village Green.
Yeah, and I feel like the people of Canfield are lucky to have you guys, like the city, listening to the people and trying to get stuff done on the green, because I feel like Poland's not really the best at that right now. They kind of put up walls and try and keep everything super mellow and chill, but you guys are actually trying to have fun with the residents. So that's
The
my
thing is that, we don't try and shut stuff down right off the bat. We're willing to hear people out and explore how could we make that happen.
Yeah,
and
within reason, how to make it work.
everything within reason.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working out so far.
Yeah, I think that, so, one of the other initiatives was revitalize the green and bring economic development to Canfield.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff on the Village Green has either been sitting vacant for a while, or there's just not a lot of that vibrancy on the Village Green.
Yeah.
So one of my sort of strategies is, well, you do events like this, you get people on the Village Green doing things, you pepper in the alcohol, you get people used to that type of thing, and show the community and everybody, look, people can responsibly come here, have a few drinks, and go home.
Yep.
They're not coming in here doing cake stands or taking shots. And then, driving the streets of Canfield.
Later down the road, we'll work with the people who maybe take stands the same.
One of the biggest misconceptions is, well, I'm not going to go to Canfield and have a beer because I'm going to get popped by the Canfield PD. So we've really integrated Canfield PD into any events that we have.
Yeah.
To one, add that security element, but then to show that, look, we're not the guys that are just sitting here waiting to get you
responsible.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Fall Fest that we have, because we do tickets where they purchase tickets, then you buy the beer.
Yeah.
We have off-duty officers literally volunteering their time.
Yeah.
That come and do the ticketing and watch the money and do that stuff. So it's
the big joke was, if you get too drunk, we're going to drive you home in a police car.
Yeah, you get a free ride home from Canfield PD if you are a Canfield resident.
I've had that happen. So Darius, real quick, guys, I want to go through comments here. When do we get Q&A? Okay, so this is how this is going to work. Residents of Canfield, if you're in the watching and in the comment section, just comment and they'll pop up here and I can see them and I'll bring them up and then we can ask them whatever you got. So, Chris says, so it sounds like they like the kids. Well, so it sounds like
we like to have the events with the kids. I mean, that's community. Your children, your families, that's the community.
Yeah. So one of the, I guess before, if we're so eager to get the question answered, we can see it. So the first event we're having, and I'll let Jess sort of talk about that, which is Screen Free Week. So it's sort of a national campaign by, I think it's like the childhood, a commercial-free childhood. So they do this Screen Free Week campaign the first week of May every year, and it encourages people to get off their screens. Get away from the computers, get away from the mobile devices, go outside and do stuff, take walks, do activities. So we kind of started, I think 2019 was our first screen-free full week of activities, and just kind of took that bull by the horns because I was
what were we doing instead of looking at our screens?
Well, on Tuesday, May 3rd.
Pull that mic a tiny bit closer to you, both of you guys, actually.
On Tuesday, May 3rd, from 5 to 7, we're going to go to the library, Canfield Library.
Okay.
We're going to do a craft with one of the librarians. We're going to have the canines there, and I believe Chuck Colucci is going to read a story. We're going to see if Chuck will read a story to the kids.
I don't think we can go back on that now.
We're going back on that.
All right.
Reading a story. Love it.
And then they're going to go over. And then they're going to go over to Piccadilly Parlor, and they're going to meet Cinderella, and she'll read a story over there at Piccadilly Parlor.
Love it.
Yeah, so there'll be lots to do, between the two places. On Wednesday, this is actually the one that I'm excited about because, this is like, get out and play. It's all about nature. On Target's going to come and they're going to show the kids how to shoot a bow and, just teach them that part of it. And then we're going to do a trail walk with a trail guide through the Mahoney County, Ohio University Extension Farm.
Awesome.
And they're having scouts. We're going to have some scouts set up a campsite, and they're going to do some little activities with the kids because scouting is all about being in nature. They're trying to get more kids into scouting. Birds and Flight's going to come and possibly bring an owl and a hawk. It all depends on the bird flu. If there's bird flu out there, they're not allowed to bring them. But she's still going to come anyway, even if she doesn't bring them. The bee man is coming from Canfield. He's talking about bees. And
which is a historically hot topic in Canfield.
Bee man?
Mayor Dragish will attest to it when he was on council. Bees were an issue.
Wait, really? Like they were bad in Canfield?
No, people like cultivating or having bee hives in their backyard.
Are they allowed to do that?
Now, they are now, yeah. You just have to get a permit and pay a fee.
So you weren't allowed to have bees at one point. It was like running rampant, like everybody had bees.
No, because I don't think a lot of people have bees now. But it became an issue that
placement near a property line.
So just one day had one, and then it started becoming issues because neighbors were like, "Wait a minute, there's bees in my backyard."
Yeah, and they could swarm and move to other places.
And a lot of people are afraid of bees, like me.
Or
I'm not like bees. I'm the one that always gets stuck.
Yeah, sorry.
And
Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, that's all right.
one more thing too. One comment here. Shelly Colucci says,
Oh, he
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
Thank you,
Right.
Shelley.
So I don't know if you caught it, but during COVID, we got into the mix of officers,
Yeah, the SROs.
specifically our SROs.
okay,
They started doing like story time. So I convinced our SROs to do story time, and they would go to the library at the elementary schools. They would
Smart.
record themselves reading the story, kid appropriate story. And we were posting it on Facebook.
yeah,
And
It was every day.
we were doing like two stories a day. So, I mean, number one, we had to grab a lot of different books, and we had requests coming in for certain titles.
Yeah.
Requests for certain officers. Wade got in the mix. I got in the mix. The chief got in the mix. We had blooper reels. It was fun. Yeah. So the chief will be revisiting that.
Well, didn't there was an award or recognition?
Oh, you know what? It was.
It was like the Imagination Library.
So two things. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, I think, recognized us, and
That's sweet.
Governor DeWine's library or Imagination Library, he recognized us.
So during COVID, you were just filming it, basically,
Yeah.
shooting it out.
Just
That's
because
cool.
it was
The kids, nobody was going to
wasn't in
school.
Yeah.
So it's like, the kids getting in that routine of seeing SROs.
My kids were younger at the time, and they looked forward every day to hearing one of the officers, some of which they know,
Yeah.
reading the story.
Yeah.
So it became part of our bedtime routine.
That's
Let
great.
the girls listen to a story, and sometimes it was me.
Love it.
So then Thursday, Jeff, what are we
Oh,
doing?
wait, we still have more. We
yeah.
forgot about the trees. We're going to be doing a tree
Oh.
planting, and everybody's going to go home with a tree. We have
What kind of tree?
we have silky dogwoods and redbud trees.
Okay.
So
I've
we're
heard
going to be
good
doing
things about redwood trees.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, everybody likes redbud trees, and we're going to have craft activities, and so it'll be a good time. Doing a nature walk, and just getting out in
That sounds
nature and
awesome.
doing something other than sitting in the house with a phone or an iPad.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, we're going to have our dance party with the police department. It's going to be the Cinco de Mayo party.
Nice.
So I have some Cinco de Mayo crafts that we're going to do to make some musical instruments. And we're going to do tacos. We're going to have a sidewalk chalk contest and games and dancing. And I'd like to also say that Johnson & Johnson Financial in Canfield, they're sponsoring the whole Screen Free Week.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we
Shout out
also
to
have two other businesses in town that have already donated towards our events on the green this year. It's Arcane Elements, which just opened in Hilltop Plaza, and Tom Danko State Farm. So both of them have donated to that cause already.
Very nice. So, Safety Day, June 11th.
So Safety Day, like we were talking about earlier, is kind of one of the events that got us started. It is June 11th. It'll be from 4 p. to 7 p. right on the Village Green. We'll probably shut down the section in front of Farmers Bank as we usually do for these events.
Gaudy killer.
Sorry,
Luke's
Luke,
gonna
I'm
say
going
something.
to fill in and love on Farmers Bank this evening.
They help us out so much. They always let us use their parking lot.
They're great.
I'll tell you what, they have
Great
great
thing.
like checking and savings and like wealth management, all things we don't do. That's really good. Yeah. I actually use
I think
them
Farmers
for
Bank
checking.
actually can do it all.
They can, but not the mortgage isn't quite the same as the MLO bro service.
Oh, you got to do mortgages.
That's what MLO is.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Mortgage loan originator. That's what you call
I thought you were the Milo.
Yeah, the Milo bros.
Milo bros.
the old folks love calling us the Milo bros.
Sorry, go ahead, John.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No. So historically, we grab as many law enforcement and safety forces that we can from the area.
Mhm.
So we usually get the state patrol to come send a cruiser, or I think in years past they brought their impaired driving simulator in the past. The sheriff's office always shows up. I think last year they brought their drone unit, so they actually had drones, that were flying around on the green, so the kids got to see that stuff in action.
Do like impairment goggles where you throw them on and you like can't even like walk. Those are fun. And
Throw them on and then fly the drone.
What's road course for bike safety? What is that?
So we did that. I think every time we've done that. So we just set up like stop signs and, you know, crosswalks and stuff like that, and have the younger kids kind of learn to maneuver a course, you know, help them with the maneuverability of their bike itself, and then picking up on some of the street signs that they might encounter. But then we have a little fun with it. Last year,
We did
Jessica
the car wash.
and one of our lieutenant's daughter helped make a car wash. So the kids drove through like a little car wash with like streamers hanging down. The kids loved it.
And
we have
drive-through
that,
things.
is that where we give away the bike helmets?
Yes, you give away the bike helmet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have a limited number of
Yeah, so like
bike
the first
helmets.
75 kids can get a bike helmet if they don't have one.
Okay. Judy, real quick question from Judy here. She says, are these activities on the green or an extension of the library activities?
Oh no, these are on the green. The only time we're at the library is that Tuesday because we want to do the library.
Screen-free week.
Screen-free week.
Okay.
And then we try to do everything on the green except for Fair Park. We're going to do the nature day because we got trails to walk and there's lots of things to do. There's swings and climbing things to keep the kids busy too.
And then Darius says, liking the new Tahoe, Josh. The new Tahoe.
I did, yeah.
Nice. He says he likes it.
It's a pretty color.
It is.
Is it pink? What is it? Purple?
It's gray.
Gray.
Yeah. Graphite.
Yeah, it's not
Graphite.
talking there.
Nice. All right, so moving on. The sheriff's office, state patrol, Canfield police, and then the fire department. We just get the fire department. They bring one of their tankers down. They set up. They have this cool. We mentioned it earlier. This little plywood cutout that they set up that actually has flames in windows of a little fake house, and the kids actually use a fire hose and they pressurize it, and the kids knock the flames down.
I would do that.
Right? It's fun.
Yeah.
Kids love it. And then years past, we had McGruff the crime dog there, so we'll see.
Yeah, do you want to be McGruff?
Yeah,
We're looking over McGruff. We need a guinea pig to dress up, you know, and sweat in that costume. It's not fun. So.
And actually, this year we have Sammy the Shovel coming from Boots.
Okay.
So
What's
they're
Sammy
actually
the shovel?
Sammy the Shovel.
Is it like a shovel outfit?
It's just a little guy.
So OOPS is Ohio Underground Protection Services. So anytime the call before you dig, 811.
Yeah.
So they have that logo where it's 811 in the shovel. I'm guessing they've got a mascot.
Yeah, they have a
Sammy the
mascot, Sammy the Shovel, and they're bringing a trailer that is actually interactive. So when you walk on it, it clears through the bottom. So when they hit different things, they can show you which lines are under the ground.
Wow, that to me is the coolest part of like what I do is most of the time you don't know what's in the ground.
Yeah.
So I get to go out on a water break when they've got the hole open and you see like, oh, there's a water line, there's the cable line, there's a gas line.
Yeah.
It's like once you open up that
you don't
you look
realize
down the
what's
hole, you're
down
like,
there.
wow. And that's what makes a lot of that challenging because they start digging and if there's fiber optic lines, gas line, water line, whoever's digging has to know where all that stuff is and go, okay.
How much trouble do you get in you hit one of those?
Well, it's not good. So if you hit a gas line, the gas company has to come out and repair it, and then you get charged for the cost to repair and the personnel. Yeah,
I can only imagine.
Yeah, the bill.
Yeah. So a lot of times, I mean, we do the same thing. So if we mark our lines and somebody comes out and hits a water line, we go out, respond, fix the water line, we calculate it out and send a bill on. So it's sort of the cost of doing business, but again, it's why it's important that everybody call before you did.
Yeah.
And then rounding out, we have 3 more groups coming out: Mahoning County Safe Communities, Akron Children's Hospital, and the Caring Angels K9. I know last year Akron Children's gave away a car seat.
A car seat, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least one car seat was given away to enter a drawing. Need a car seat, it might be the lucky winner.
Yeah. And then we also give away other gifts like door prizes. We have the kids write their names.
Yeah, the first year we did it, we gave
car.
away a little Tykes police car. We actually had the guy that does our graphics on our cruiser took our graphics, shrunk them down, and we fit them on a little Tykes. And one of our residents won that, and we actually got to deliver it.
Yeah, that
And
was
then
Lights and sirens.
Lights and
Yeah.
sirens delivered.
And then last year, the fire department's union chipped in and they bought a fire truck.
Yeah, but it actually had the sprayer and everything.
Yeah,
No, really.
Water.
It was like the
control.
the big kids power wheel, but it was remote control.
I think
So like
It was
the
like-
parent can sit there and literally like
exactly
drive their kid around.
your parent can make sure you don't get into too much trouble.
Yeah.
So we've been able to give away some. You gave away a picnic table.
Yeah, we got stuff from Step 2 last year, which I did file to see if we can get it again this year. Get some things from Step 2.
Yeah, so
anything we can, give away to kids.
The community
Small
partnerships
families.
is what we're trying to build on top of everything else we're doing in the community. So like Akron Children's, they do the stuff during the safety day, and then our police department does the Christmas in July toy drive. So that's always July 25th.
Okay.
And they do a toy drive for Akron Children's Hospital here in Boardman, because typically the toy drives happen, around Thanksgiving, Christmas, when everybody's doing that. Well, they kind of get to the middle of the year, and they ran out of toys, stuffed animals, and things to give the kids that are at Akron Children's. So our police department, at least every year for I think the last 3 years, has done that. And we, our public works guys decorate the green as if it's Christmas time, put up the wreaths, put the tree in the
Everybody's like, what's going on with the green?
Yeah,
What's going on the green?
Get ready for Christmas in July. So it kind of, we promo it by getting that buzz around, they're decorating for Christmas in July. Something's going on.
Darius says, "Where's the chief at?"
Hopefully he's at home. Or he may be at the station. Who knows?
Family fun night or movie night? Movie night in August, right?
Movie night, yeah. We're going to show a movie. We're actually going to do it at Fair Park again. Just trying to utilize that park so people know that park is there. And we'll do popcorn, drinks, and stuff for the kids. And basically just bring their chairs, their blankets, whatever, and we're going to show a movie for them. We're in between 2 different movies.
Yeah, so Facebook people, if you've got kids, we're right now, of course, Encanto is the big one that is popular, and then Sing 2 are kind of my 2 that I'm leaning towards.
And I don't have little children, so I'm leaving it all up to Wayne.
I have yet to see Sing 2.
So I saw Sing 2 last weekend, and my kids loved it, but they loved it too. So
yeah.
And so I have a dog named Bruno, and so I have a soft spot.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Bruno because I don't particularly care for Bruno, my dog.
Yeah.
Sarah will appreciate it. I mentioned dumb Bruno on the show.
Leave Bruno alone. I'm sure he's sweet. Gosh,
everybody else loves him. He's the sweetest dog in the world.
Yeah. So family fun night is the following weekend, right? Or 2 weeks?
Yes, 2 weeks later. It's a Thursday night. We're having Vinyl Arcade. They're out of like the Cleveland area, and they play music that was on vinyl. So it'll be a fun night. 60s, 70s, 80s kind of music.
And we had them booked last year for this same event, and we had to cancel it because that was the day like the storms were rolling in.
Yeah, that was a big bummer. Yeah. So we booked them again for this year. And then, of course, we're going to have food trucks, and we'll do the beer tent that night. Last year we had Modern Methods and Birdfish.
Yeah, they came out for the Fall Festival.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think that's your wife. Sarah says Bruno loves him, best of friends. Love it.
We do cuddle occasionally.
Is it a love-hate relationship?
Yes, I love to hate him.
Oh my gosh. What food trucks do we have on the roster?
Right now we have Smokeworks.
Okay.
And then the other one we have is they do Italian sandwiches and French fries and just stuff that everybody likes. And then we also have Neopops coming. Neopops has the popsicles that are like all natural popsicles. They're made with pudding.
Yeah.
They're really good. We had them before.
Pudding.
Did we have them Christmas in July one year?
Yeah. Last year we had them.
Yeah. You gotta look. Who has one? Magic Tree and John Rooney. Okay. He would love to do it. He's on Magic Tree on South Avenue. He would totally be down if you want him. They have awesome pretzels, and their chicken fingers are actually amazing. O'Donut.
Oh, okay.
O'Donut has one.
Yeah.
They have awesome cinnamon rolls and donuts.
That'd be good for Fall Fest.
There's a taco place, like street taco type.
That's what I'm looking
food
for.
Truck over here in Poland. I can get you a contact.
Okay, great.
They're always at the Poland Swim Club, but I'm sure they come out to Canfield for you guys. Okay. But yeah, they're Poland residents. I'm trying to think what other options we have. There's a Chinese food truck. There's who else? We're having an event in August or in June in the village here, and we're having a couple food trucks. But yeah, I'll get you some good ones on top of it to help out, and I'm sure they'd love to come out. So, and beer tent, you said Modern Methods and
Birdfish last year. Yeah, Paladin, we tried them, but they were doing something. They had their own little fall fest or something. We went to the fall fest.
Downtown, there's
Oh, that's what it was. They were going to that one. That one is downtown. I'm trying to think of the name of it. They were having the Fall Fest, Calhoun was going there.
Well, there's a brewery downtown called Noble Creature.
That's what it is. Yeah. They
They're
couldn't
cool,
come
too.
last time.
Noble Creature is how I discovered Canfield Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so my wife's birthday last summer,
Yeah.
we had something planned out. We were gonna have somebody come play music at the house,
Mm-hmm.
and weather did not cooperate. So last minute, we're canceling the party and trying to figure out, okay, what can we do? And Noble Creature had the Canfield Brothers, and that's so I listened to them, trying to get an idea of whether we wanted to go see them, and that's what popped into my head. We were looking for live music for our events.
Did you go out to Noble Creature downtown?
We did not.
It's a
We
sweet.
did not.
It's like an old church that they converted into a brewery. It's a really cool concept.
Did they come up with catchy names for like different food dishes and beer and whatnot based
So
on
they don't
being in a
serve
church?
food. No, they didn't.
Because
They
my
didn't.
wife and I have been to a winery up in Ashtabula that is similar, and they have real witty names for like all their different
Yeah.
Like
wines.
Men's Brew.
Serve pizza, cheese's crust. So they so my buddy works up there. He teaches at East Palestine during the school year, and then he's a bartender up there. But they teamed up with a local Space Cat. You ever heard of the barbecue place that was downtown for a while? They left, but they don't serve food right now. But they were doing that for a while. But their beer is really good, and I'm sure they would love to come up to an event like that.
Yeah, anybody that's listening,
You have to
feel free to reach out.
Yeah.
hit me up,
We're
call
always
me.
looking for more events, more vendors, more anything that we have in Canfield.
Yeah.
Chris Robinson
Sponsors,
says,
we
Numbers Brewing?
oh yeah,
Numbers
Oh,
Brewing.
yeah.
Okay.
So one other event that I would be missed to not mention. So every year we have our annual 4th of July activities, our parade on the green.
Mm-hmm.
Josh and I actually serve on the 4th of July committee. And last year we took on the activity of fireworks at the Canfield Fairgrounds. So that historically was done by the Rotary Club of Canfield.
Mhm.
The 4th of July committee took it on last year and it was an overwhelming success. So the 4th of July committee will have the annual 4th of July activities, parade, and fireworks. So July 2nd is the fireworks, and then July 4th, that Monday, will be the parade.
The 4th of July parade in Canfield has always been a huge deal. Like I used to go when I was a little kid coming over from South Ranch. We'd always go to their 4th of July parade.
And I get the pleasure of being in the parade every year.
So you walking out at the
Well, I
front?
ride.
What are you riding then?
you walked last year, didn't you?
No, I rode. So my wife.
You and
Jackie-
Donnie just walking?
Well, yeah. So it's like all the dignitaries, if you want to consider them
Okay.
dignitaries.
Oh my goodness.
Did you wear like a cowboy hat?
The first year I did,
And
yeah.
walked around with an American flag?
That was the first.
Okay, that was the first.
And then the second year, I think we all rode in the People Movers as a group. But then last year we went back to the individual cars.
And we walked, and it was hot.
Yeah. And we have candy walkers because you can't throw candy.
Oh, you're not
No,
allowed.
there's rules. You can't throw
Can't throw
candy.
candy. Yell at you for that.
Yeah, you can't have a super soaker and douse the crowd or officers that are sweating in their black uniforms and all their body armor. Because I was told no, you're not allowed to do that. So, but my wife goes all out and decorates. So we have a Jeep Wrangler, so take the top off and just America throws up on the Jeep Wrangler, and I just sit in the back and make everybody.
You know what? Luke and I were in the Poland parade a couple years ago, and I do remember that. Like we had people in the truck, and they kind of just in the bed of the truck, and they kind of just waved, and then we had people walking down the side, like handing candy to kids.
And it's really, I mean, it's a safety issue because there's so many cars and so many people. If you're throwing candy, one little kid just starts out, and even at whatever 5 miles an hour, you don't want something tragic.
Some of those vehicles, the line of sight, you can't see, real close.
Yeah, makes sense.
So we definitely keep our eye out for that and try and discourage that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so 4th of July, and then we kind of end we lead up the summertime. We try to fill all the activities until we get to obviously the Canfield Fair and the 6 best days of summer, and then we end the season with our fall festival.
Do you guys try and let the Canfield Fair do their thing, kind of try and stay out of their business?
Oh yeah, we don't ever want to kind of step on their toes with anything.
Yeah, I've always wondered that because they've just been around for so long. You know what I mean?
And I think most of our resources, at least from the police department side, are tied up with all the the planning, traffic management. So, I mean,
How awful is that?
Out there in the sun.
Well, just all the traffic every single year going. Do you guys have it down? Like, does the police have it down to like a science now? I mean,
I don't think our strategy has really changed from
Yeah.
year to year. I mean, we've kind of figured out what works best.
Yeah.
It's not picture perfect, but nothing is. So we kind of got it down to what works best for us. And I know it's a pain for some of our residents because we shut certain streets down at certain times, and once it's shut down, we don't let people cross. We have the foot race, so there's a good portion of the city that people run the firecracker.
The firecracker 5K or 5 miler, 4 miler.
It's a foot race. So
it's
there's
just a
kids race
run
at the beginning of the day, followed by an adult race, and I mean they run through the entire city.
I think it's 4 mile, right?
I think it is.
The firecracker 4 mile on the 4th.
Yeah.
Second Soul is a big sponsor of that and organizes all that. So, the police department shuts
Isn't there
down.
another one
Another
that runs for Caitlin? Isn't that?
the run for Caitlin is another foot race that goes throughout the city, and that utilizes the high school track, the bike trail, and then some of the city streets. And it's something that we always partner with that organization on.
And so, and I think before we wrap up the event, I did want to mention, so those are all city-sponsored events that the city sort of coordinates, puts on, and does everything with. But we have Studio Oxygen that does yoga on the green. I think they've got a location here in Poland. They've got the location in Canfield. So they started doing that a couple of years ago. Big success. They bring in vendors and do some kind of like some shops. We've got
the fall. I don't think we talked about the fall fest. Well, we did. They're
A
called
little bit,
Pumpkins, beer tents. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same stuff except the only Conkle Brothers. And we've got a local business that at their request, we don't mention who they are, but they're a huge help with our fall festival as far as getting pumpkins and helping us with the straw and the corn stalks and stuff.
And
like
last
that.
year we actually got some pumpkins from Mill Creek Metro Parks.
Yep.
They actually gave us, I want to say like 100 pumpkins or 75 pumpkins or something. I can't remember what it was. It was like a gaylord of
A
pumpkins.
gaylord.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the term apparently.
Yeah.
The huge
Gaylord of Pumpkin.
pallet with the cardboard box. Apparently called a gaylord.
Yeah, I worked in trucking. I remember that.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Is it
Before I was a
exclusive to
banker.
pumpkins or
No, it was
produce in general?
Gaylord boxes. Yeah, you have pallets and then the boxes, and there'll be scrap thrown in it, pumpkins, whatever. Anything that's not like organized and like saran wrapped on a pallet is thrown in a container and shipped down the road in a Gaylord box.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Back before I was a banker, I did that.
one other or two other events. So July 30th is the Choose Joy for Milena event
Love
on
that.
Village Green. So unfortunately I missed that last year, but excited to partake in that event this year because it's just great foundation. Very, very strong family.
Yep. With I'm sure at that event, we had them on the podcast. I talked to the mom and dad. I'm so sorry, I forget your names if you're watching, guys. But she was super into cheetah prints.
Yes,
Cheeto.
Cheeto.
Cheeto. So I'm sure that event
Cheeto
full of
print.
cheetah print.
So, and then September 10th, there is a Back to Blue rally that former council member Christine Oliver started a
Back to
501c,
Blue. Yeah.
her foundation. So they do a rally every year on the Village Green, sort of tying to September 11th. So it's kind of honoring all first responders. Yeah, and her husband, Sam's a deputy sheriff in the Mahoney County Police Department. So it kind of ties in with everything we do in the summer, just trying to hit basically all the community aspect of. There's something that you're interested in doing or trying to have it in the community space that is a Village Green.
So if somebody is a resident and they want to use the Village Green for something, is that possible?
Yes. So I meant to bring you and Luke one to fill out for your kegger. So there is a Village Green use agreement. It's 6 pages, but it's really just everything about the event, date, time, how many people are attending, if you want to shut down streets, which, if you want police protection, so that, and then based on the event and the potential liability, we may require a certificate of insurance.
You're telling me there's liability?
And then like, if you look at, so then there's a map of like, where do you want to do this on the green? So there's like 4 sections or quadrants of the Village Green itself.
So you could have multiple people doing multiple
things on the different quadrants.
Correct. And the main quadrant where the gazebo sits is typically where everybody has
Most popular.
And,
We don't need the main thing. Just do it off.
well, and so this year, so the Rotary Club of Canfield's big project this year is going to be renovating, well, basically tearing down and then rebuilding the gazebo in the center of town.
But what are you doing with the gazebo? You're getting rid of the gazebo?
Oh, no,
way.
it's coming back bigger and better.
That's what I heard. I heard it's exactly the same thing, only bigger.
Only bigger.
Yeah, that's
And with a
perfect.
little bit more sustainable
history
materials
of us.
than wood that's going to rot, and
Yeah.
paint that constantly needs upkeep.
For sure, we're gonna address like any electrical needs that we have, lighting
Yeah,
needs.
so lighting, electrical, sound, it's
Cool.
going to be
I like
a
it.
welcomed improvement to the village green.
How much bigger is it?
I don't know the exact dimensions, but it's because right now if you put like a 4-piece band in there, they
Just
basically
Yeah, they're
crank
cranking.
a hunch, so it's going to be big enough to where that becomes the stage for anything that we're
Yeah.
doing in the village. So that's taking place this summer, and that kind of forced us to look at, all right, if we're going to have this, let's use Fair Park for this. Let's look at maybe doing the north end of the green where our American Legion Post 77 has just done a really tall and large flagpole, and that they've got an initiative to where they're going to do like a Veterans Plaza around that. So there's just so many exciting things happening on the village green in Canfield, whether it's events or just general improvements to hopefully get people interested in the aesthetics and potentially bring businesses there to say, hey, there's constantly something going on the village green. There's a lot of nice amenities that they put on the village green. I'm going to have my little coffee shop, my little retail store, just to have that economic activity on the village.
I love it.
That's the goal.
Yeah, I love that you're trying to get it used. You're trying to get community involvement in order to, get people talking about moving into Canfield and making it their home so that they can have awesome events like that. Very cool. You got a comment here from Judy that makes a good point. She says, love what you're planning. How are you marketing these events besides on Facebook? Not everyone has social media or is online.
Yeah, and that's always the challenge. So it's so easy and accessible. Facebook, our website. I mean, we don't, we can't mail out something to everybody. There's not that.
But we have our newsletter that we just started this year.
Yes. So we have a newsletter that we're going to also be promoting in. Sign up for you can go to our website, sign up your email address, and every month we direct email that newsletter out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the challenge becomes as we move more towards technology, email and internet and Facebook and social media, how do you reach the people that aren't doing that?
Yeah, and it costs money to print stuff out and go mail it out.
So
I do print a few. I do print some and stick them in the little slot by the reception.
Yeah, I think last year we did a cup and handed it out Safety Day that then had a list of all the other events that we were doing that year. We have, so there's those, I guess, message boards that are in the center of town that a local boy, Eagle Scout for his project is redoing those to make them more of like because right now that you do an 18 by 36 sheet of plywood or a sign and you slide it in.
Yeah.
So we're hopefully going to improve that to where it's more of a visible sign that people, when you're driving by, you can actually read it and it's not just, what does that say?
Yeah.
And I think we've typically tried, maybe limited success, trying to get some of the media just to put a little blurb out there that it's something that can be done.
Yeah.
This is
Anytime we can
this
get
weekend.
news media to cover the event, that always brings that added attention, and then we always try to promote the other events at the event.
And you definitely use everything Canfield because you guys are one of the
post on there.
So we have like 4,000 people, almost 5,000 people now. No, it might be 3 to 4. Somewhere around 4,000 people on everything Canfield that are interacting. So share away on that whenever you got events coming up.
Yeah, I usually post on that, and then I post on there was a parents one.
Parents of Canfield or something. Yeah.
There's like there's like a lot of Canfield sites.
There's everything Canfield.
There's like
uncensored.
I'm scared to go to those. When I was growing up, it was like, well, I want to watch those uncensored videos.
You gotta stay away from them. You gotta stay away from them.
Oh my goodness.
That's the one that broke away from us because Luke was censoring people too much. I get it. So you'll have that. Darius says, Wade, do you walk with council next to Bruce Knapp? I think he is the best representation for the city. Oh, okay.
So we don't. So each individual dignitary has a you got a car that they ride in.
We've done it both ways.
Yeah, the
We've
people
done
mover
individually.
that 1 year.
We did a people mover the 1 year for the parade, trying to condense.
It's a long parade.
It's a long parade. So we've done it as groups. We've done it individually. You know.
Yeah. So my plan last year, which we couldn't coordinate everybody, but hopefully we'll be able to do it this year. So I am only a dignitary because of the people that work at the city of Canfield. So I want to do a trailer float that is like me and then all the staff
That'd be
of the
sweet.
city of Canfield.
Yeah.
So
That'd be sweet.
now that we've got the theme, I think it's Celebrate America. We'll kind of theme our float.
Like you said, just throw up on America.
Celebrate America, and then have myself and the wonderful staff that we have at the city be recognized by all of the people of Canfield.
Darius wants to know if Wade, you will be sitting in a kissing booth at any of the events this year.
I mean, if there's
Probably not very COVID
Maybe
friendly.
Bruno could do that.
if there's a need, probably ask Sarah, but I mean,
We'll have to ask his wife. But he might, you know. He might.
I mean, it
Ask
depends
him
on
about-
the money that's involved. I mean, I will do anything to raise money for the city of Canfield.
You know what you should do, and what we're doing at one of our events over here in Poland is a dunk tank.
So on the 4th of July, we typically have a dunk tank.
Yeah, go sit in that
that-
thing.
well, we put the police department in.
Two police officers.
See, our police chief and our we have the truck cop out here. I keep begging him to get. I'm like, you guys would raise so much money for whatever you want. Well,
we do it
don't
for free.
Yeah, but there's not even a,
free. Kids just
Oh,
walk
really?
out there
yeah,
and
and
don't
just
No, well, I'm like, think about it. If you get a police officer that is truck cop out here known for catching speeders, everybody,
everybody wants to dunk them.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
sit in that tank for $5, man, and $5 a ball. People would be lined up down the street. You can use that money to do whatever you want with, man. Donate it, whatever. It's like great money
That
raiser.
is. And I don't think a dunking booth with me would work very well because I don't think very many people would want to dunk.
Once again, lined up across the block. Like we're having one. And we're doing it. Yeah, raising money for I don't know what charity we haven't decided yet, but actually it might be going to one of our other festivals. Like, fundraising for another festival. But people are already saying they're coming in droves. And
Or you probably have like everybody from Canfield come dunk the MLO brothers.
to the Polish festival to dunk us.
Yeah. Or they'll be like funding it anonymously through like PayPal. Like here's $50, dunk them for me.
Yeah, I think Luke advertises like, have you ever wanted to drown the MLO bros? Come on out and you'll have that opportunity. So, but what else you guys got? Anything else going on?
The other events that I can think of is just I want to mention that Saturday, April 30th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's two events going on at the police department. So a couple times a year, Canfield PD and many of our local law enforcement agencies partner up with DEA, and they do a prescription take-back day. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Explain it.
So it's geared towards getting people to look in their medicine cabinets and see, okay, is there any medicines in there that are expired? I don't need anymore, and gives them the opportunity to properly dispose of them by turning them into a police department, and then we turn them over to DEA and they are destroyed appropriately. So from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., that is going on throughout the country, and one of the drop-off points is Canfield PD. And then at the exact same time, Canfield PD is hosting an open house at the police department where we're allowing people from the community to come check out the new dispatch center and get a tour of the police department.
Yeah, so I think last year we started a complete renovation and upgrade to the police dispatch center. So we went from two dispatchers sitting back to back at these large consoles
With
to
horrible acoustics.
to a state of the art, I think 4 console with the ability to add a 5th temporary dispatching console with 10 screens. And then the room itself, there's any and all information. So all the calls in Mahoney County, all the calls that are specific to Canfield, weather. I mean, it's just, it's really something that, the community, they're paying for it.
Yeah.
So we wanted, the police chief was like, I want to have an open house when this is all said and done
So they
so that
can
we can
see
show the people what
respect
services are being provided and the amount of investment that went into
Yeah, and if somebody's thinking about moving to the area, could they perhaps go see it? Or,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's open, John, not just Canfield residents.
Yeah.
I think it's an open house to really anybody that has an interest that wants to come.
That's the thing you got to keep in mind is Canfield PD Dispatch provides services for so many more than just the Canfield community.
Yeah.
I know they handle dispatching services for the Green Township Fire Department and
They used to do
Burn
Berlin.
Center.
Berlin, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they handle
Loveville.
other communities. So
Coatesville now.
it's kind of
And then Cardinal Joint Fire.
Very cool. Very cool.
And there actually was an article about that in last month's newsletter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's right, there was.
Yeah, that was our
And
front
they
page.
just
So if anyone wants to read about it, go on our website and you can pull up the
And
newsletter.
where is that website? I'll actually put
It
it
is
in here.
canfield.gov.
Easy enough.
Real simple.
Don't even need to.
And then sign up for the newsletter so you can get the next one in your email and you can read what's going on.
Yeah, so the newsletter is, we kind of started it, but then we've revamped it to where now hopefully we're getting out on a monthly basis. There's usually a feature article. I have a little piece just trying to update people with kind of capital projects, different things that are going on from a management side in Canfield. Chief Colucci gives a little blurb update for police department activities. Mayor Dragish has a little blurb that he puts in there. We usually try to spotlight a local business to get interest in that local business, talk about that local business, and then one or two other little feature articles. The flags. So everybody asks about what are these flags in my yard.
Mm-hmm.
So you always see the different colored
Is
flags.
that Rotary out there too, or no? Is that just?
Well, Rotary does the flag placement program.
Yeah.
Like going along with that 811.
Oh,
Before you
okay.
dig.
Yeah.
So you see these little marker flags: blue, orange, yellow, green, white, and they show up in people's yards.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What are these flags?" So each one of those flags designate a certain utility that's underground.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a guideline of like, green is sewer, blue is water, orange is fiber optics. So we did an article on that, just trying to. It's meant to educate everybody as much as we can on things that not everybody shows up to city council meetings twice a month, and you try to get the information out there of what the city's doing, what we're planning, why we're doing things.
Are you still streaming them or no?
Oh yeah, so after when we went with during COVID we were doing the Zoom type stuff.
Yeah.
Then we used some of our first round of CARES Act money to fully upgrade council chambers. So every council meeting is streamed live when it's happening, and it's archived for anybody to watch afterwards.
Yeah, Poland, the Village just started streaming, and they're not archiving it. I don't know. There's some way around where they don't have to archive it, but we've been sharing it to our everything page and trying to archive it ourselves so that people can go back.
Yeah, and we still, so Patty Burnett, our clerk of council, who also assists with a lot of the planning and the Monday concerts that we traditionally have, she still dictates verbatim minutes.
Oh, really?
So anything that's ever said at a Canfield
That's
City
cool.
Council meeting is typed out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I always usually
She's
get
still
kicked
hitting
in
you
the
with a typewriter.
meetings because I tend to talk a little bit more than I should. So
Yeah.
she has to then type it all. But yeah, so we used to post those, and people would go in and they could read everything. Well, now it's a little bit more convenient. They can literally go in, and if there's one agenda item that they're interested in, click on that. It'll jump to that video.
Cool. I love that.
So yeah, some of the other plans, hopefully, we'll upgrade some of the audio in the room. Maybe do some better lighting. Again, it's an older building, so we're just trying to keep things upgraded, new and fresh, and give the people of Canfield what they deserve in their city services.
Well, anybody else have any other questions while we got them here? Anybody from Canfield? Any resident questions? I don't know if I missed anything.
I don't think anybody gave any insights to what movie we should.
I know. We need to vote on that.
These are like the hard decisions that I get to make.
Yeah.
I'm asking for assistance. Everybody
saying
always
to-
wants to tell me how to do my job, and they have the opportunity, and nobody's fighting.
Darius says, his dinner and a movie is this right now. Darius says, wish you guys the best of luck. Just took some Pepto after 1579. Ordered Taco Bell. Do not use the fire. I love the fire sauce. Fire sauce.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Fire sauce is my favorite. But
do we know Darius?
Okay. I don't recognize his name.
I believe it.
and yeah, didn't put a picture up there, so you can't. But
She's at the happy days.
anything else before we shut her down, you guys?
No, I don't think so.
You guys want to talk about the wonderful school levy? Anything like that?
I think.
What do we think? Why don't we go around the room and say what we think about the school levy, just to start some drama here before we leave.
I can sum it up for the city of Canfield and tell everybody that the city is a willing partner in the school district's initiative to give the kids what the kids of Canfield deserve.
Yeah, I got an anonymous message here from someone. Hold on, let me pull up the message here.
There's nothing anonymous on Facebook.
Okay, so if Canfield loves the kids so much, then why put up roadblocks with the land agreement? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know enough about this. How about ask Mr. Calhoun about the land agreement between the city and the school that was tweaked and put on the council's agenda in the 11th hour? What is she talking about?
Okay. So the original land swap agreement between the city and the school.
Explain it as much as you possibly can, like a 7th grade level too.
Oh, Lord.
I'm like slow.
We're going to hear till 11 o'clock.
Just quickly though.
Okay, so the land swap agreement that was signed in February.
Okay.
So Redgate Farm, owned by the city of Canfield, about 300 acres. Talked to the school extensively about, okay, how much acreage do you need? They need 100 acres. Here's where we think we can put the school. That included 20 acres south of Leffingwell Road. There's 80 acres south of Leffingwell that make up part of the 300 acres.
Okay.
There's an annexation agreement between the city of Canfield and Canfield Township that restricts that 20 or 80 acres to the south to only be single-family residential.
Okay.
So after that agreement was signed, all that stuff's coming out because as we were preparing to do this, it was let's get this done so that we can move forward with the school levy.
Yeah.
A bit of oversight. So we're in the process of trying to tweak that so that the 100 acres that the school needs is delineated as being on the northern side of Leffingwell. So May 3rd's fastly approaching. So as we're tweaking that agreement, we were doing a first reading of that agreement at last night's council meeting.
Okay.
So that the draft version of that agreement was put on the agenda. However, at the request of the school district, we pulled that agenda item off and took no action on it. So that because there hadn't been any substantial discussions.
Okay.
So I'm not quite sure what roadblocks are being put out by the city.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think myself and Superintendent Joe Knoll have been working extensively together, almost talking, at least weekly, to sort of navigate through all of the moving pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, in my view, it's sort of a simple type of agreement, but there's a lot of mechanics to it. And everything's contingent upon the school levy, whether it passes or fails.
With those government meetings too, like they're so, outside looking in, they're so overly complicated that after everything happens in the meetings, I almost feel like there should be someone that's on council that's like, okay, we're officially done with the meeting, and then breaks down what happened at the meeting in normal English so that normal people can understand.
Right. So I think that if you haven't tuned in and watched the City of Canfield Council meeting, I would encourage you to do so. So it is to the lay person, it's we're going to waive the required first reading of this ordinance per Ohio Revised Code, and then it's like a motion and then a second, and then they read the ordinance. So typically they say, Wade, can you explain this to us? And that sort of gives me the opportunity to say, okay, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then council can ask questions, people in the audience can ask questions.
Good.
We're lucky enough over the course towards the end of the year, we typically have some high school students trying to get government credits for their classes, so they will show up to the council meetings. And that's always a special treat because when those kids come, I like to turn into government teacher.
Yeah.
And I start literally explaining like, well, kids, here's what we're doing and here's why we're doing it.
Yeah, very cool. I love this question with all my heart. Wade.
The school will pay the same rate that everybody in Canfield pays, but
you better be careful.
We are very, very close to finalizing the amended agreement with the city of Youngstown.
Oh, really?
I know Mayor Dragish, I think, mentioned it when he was here.
He did.
So there is a rate schedule that this year will be the last year that we have the 7 3/4% increase of the water rates.
Okay.
So we're going to have to increase that. We're going to have to pass that on to the residents.
Yeah.
And then years 6 through 10, it's 2.5% annual increase.
Is that like normal everywhere else? Like, is my water bill through Aqua, Ohio going up 2% every year?
I don't know.
See,
But then at year 10, there's no increase for the remaining life of the contract.
but what percent is that after 10 years? So 7, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
2.5, 2.5, so 10% over 5 years that we get from the city of Youngstown. The hope and strategy is that we don't pass the full percentage increase onto our residents.
Yeah.
And that's sort of my finance director's job to really manage the funds that we aren't passing that on. But again, historically, the reason why we're sort of in the position we are, rate increases from the city of Youngstown were not passed on to residents. But to answer the water question, and this is something that I would love to have a lot of discussion about, because it's a regional issue.
Okay.
So the folks that are in northern Liberty Township, so by Girard,
Okay.
they're paying $17-something per 1,000 gallons of water. And it's the same water that I get in Canfield from MBSD.
It's just a matter of being charged through different.
Every time
different
somebody
levels.
touches that water, they're upcharged.
So annoying, and it's different governments, right?
Correct. So MBSD can only sell to 3 people: McDonald Village, Youngstown, and Niles.
So it's because they can only. Why can they only sell to those? Why can't they go straight to you?
Because when MBSD was created in the early 1900s as the district,
Yeah.
Calhoun Valley Sanitary District, they delineated who they could sell.
That's the stupidest thing ever. Let's get rid of that and let's start over.
Talk to your state legislatures.
That's so dumb. Like, how did that make
It's
any sense?
democracy in action. If enough people complain about an issue, whether it's a local issue, a regional issue, or a state issue, that's how you implement change.
That is correct, sir. I thought of you the other day. Aqua came out and changed my water meter. My bill went up like $30 for no reason. So I was like,
Well, it depends on how old your meter was. So, like any other mechanics, the older a meter gets, the slower it runs. So you could use the same amount of water. What you're thinking is the same amount of water, but the meter is actually more accurate, so it captures those couple gallons.
that sounds like a bunch of.
Well, we're putting them in Canfield right now.
We're putting
doing
automated
it now.
metering in Canfield.
Like, the condo was built in 2000, so I think it was 22
20
years.
Yeah, 22-year-old
So it like
meter.
slows down over time, basically.
Mhm.
Calculates less over time.
Yeah. So the new meters that are AMI, it's just an open chute with basically a laser, and as the water goes through it captures that water. The old meters are mechanics. So as
Yeah,
those
it was like
mechanics
tick,
run,
tick, tick, tick,
run,
tick.
run,
Yeah.
run, they run slower and slower.
I learn something new every day. You're the water guy.
I know. I'm like a geek about
Professional
anything,
water.
anything related to municipal services and government.
You know, if you want to save money on your water, conserve a little bit.
Don't take showers so I need to
Take
yell at my
short
wife.
showers. Don't put your cup in the sink and run the water and walk away from it. You gotta like do it right then and there.
But it is interesting. So I came from Texas, and when I was in Texas, we were paying less than $5 per 1,000 gallons of water as like customers.
And that's Texas.
There's not a lot of water in Texas.
Yeah.
But again, you have certain number of people that are able to supply it, and they're able to charge essentially the rates that they see fit, and then every time somebody touches it, they charge more.
That's so frustrating.
Yeah, you compound the charges on
Yeah.
top of everything. So I mean, it's one of those. If you charge the distribution charge, so if you limit it to where, because I don't treat water that I get from Youngstown. Mahoning Valley Sanitary District treats the water.
Yeah.
So from Mahoning Valley Sanitary District to any community, nobody is doing anything more to the water other than passing it through their pipes.
And
so if you have a distribution charge that, okay, you're going through my pipes, I'm going to charge you this. That would be better than setting me a rate.
Through the pipes.
Right.
Because it's going through the pipes.
They can say, I'm
downstream.
supplying. But they set a rate instead of just, hey, state legislatures, set a distribution charge that could be implemented.
But technically, to get to their residents, the water has to go through their pipes anyways before it gets to you, right?
Well, so said we'd be here till 11. So Route 11, where it comes south and where 80 crosses it before it turns into 680.
Yeah.
That's where the pipe is. That comes from Mineral Ridge, where MBS is.
Okay.
So the water that Canfield gets literally takes that turn south, and then the pipe that runs down 11 is owned by the city of Youngstown until you get to about Kirk Road.
So you could just tap into that pipe.
That's where we're getting our water from, but because they own that line right there,
Oh my
I have to pay the city of Youngstown.
Why doesn't Canfield just build our own pipe and go like right over it?
I would love to. It's really, really expensive, but from legally, I can't. I cannot dip my straw into MVSD's.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you're not. Yeah. Wow, that's so stupid.
And there are. I mean, I believe there is enough water in Mahoning Valley Sanitary District's reservoir or Meander Waters Reservoir to supply plenty of people that want water.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like you said, we could be here till tonight talking about this stuff. But hour and 2 minutes, you guys good? Ready to shut her down? Any last comments before we go here? Good, everybody. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you everybody for watching. If you haven't already, we just have one angry face. Could the last 11 people in here please go down below, give us a heart or a thumbs up or a like or something?
The angry face.
I don't know. We can actually.
Why did I not like that?
Angry face, identify yourself.
Chris Robinson. I think they might have accidentally put an angry face. It happens every now and then. But thank you everybody for watching. The MLO Bros appreciate you. Also, City of Canfield here today. Appreciate you for watching. Tell your friends that this is on Everything Canfield, so if they want to go watch it, they can watch this conversation. Also, if you haven't, go like the MLO Bros. Go check out Canfield.org. Bruno's waiting for you at home, Mr. Calhoun.
Canfield.gov.
I'm sorry, Canfield.gov. Yeah, so thank you everybody for watching. Luke will be back next week. Also, thank you to our sponsor, Valley Insurance, the mayor of Poland, for sponsoring the MLO Bros. And yeah, that's about it. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank